But I also wanted to talk about the way that you shape your YouTube videos. How does one come to the point where they make a video? Do you create a narrative? How do you create a hook? How do you create an ending? What's that process like for you?
Well, originally, because like I said, my channel's slightly changing now because I can't travel as much. But originally, it was mostly just vlog style. Right? I'm going to be at this place. This is what I'm going to do today. And I will go show you what it's like. Right? That's the hook. So if you're interested in seeing, say, pandas or something, that's what I'm doing today. And so you show a small clip of what they might see, like, hey, I'm at the panda reserve. It's going to be so awesome. Come with me today. That's what we're going to do. And then when it was my wife and I both on the same videos on Trip Bitten, and then I could cut to her and she said, oh, do you think this is exciting? And it almost is like a conversation between two people because you're just like, this is what we're doing. How do you feel about it? Oh, I feel great. Oh, exciting. Have you ever done this before? No. Okay. And so that kind of just general vlog style. That can do okay. It really depends on how high energy you are and how interesting you are. And it also comes back to some of the editing, like how well you edit, what shots you get. And those are all things that you have to think about. But as you kind of like, because that channel kind of is slowly going away from travel because I can't do it right now. It's become more scripted content and more about kind of my opinions about China. And those types of videos tend to do well because people are just generally interested about China. And on YouTube, there's kind of two camps. It's kind of the anti-China camp, and there's a lot of those. Of course. And then there's kind of the
easy clicks.
Easy clicks, yeah. You can make some ridiculous headline about China doing something, and people are like, I can't believe they did that. I gotta see. Like, and then you click on it, and it's just some guy just making stuff up. Half the time it's made up, or he misread an article, or intentionally misread an article. And then there's the other side, which is kind of the pro-China content of mostly people that live here who are like, it seems pro-China because they are saying China's not as bad as everybody's saying it is. And so when you contrast it, it seems pro. But a lot of times it's not necessarily pro. It's just kind of like, no, this is
what China
this is what it's like for us. This is my experience. And so I'm kind of more in that this is my experience camp now. And, obviously there's many things that I disagree with that China's doing, right? That's just normal. Any country you live in, you're going to have some disagreement. But it's trying to balance it in the sense of where I'm not being negative or like attacking, because those anti-China like content producers or influencers, I don't get it. Half of them don't even, half of them don't even live here. I mean, I get it from the money side, like they're making money off of that, but half of them don't even live here. I'm like, either you lived here at one point and now you've gone away, so okay, move on with your life, or they're intentionally like just like attacking. There's some, and you're like, okay, well, you're backed by a media company, so you have an agenda. So that's clearly like, and I don't want to fall into that because it's like, I don't have either of those. Sometimes I might agree with some of the stuff they say, but it's like, I'm not going to come out and make a video like that because it's not, like your show's called The Bridge. It's trying to kind of bridge the gap between the cultures. And I'm like, more of that content is just going to make people think China's this crazy place where everything's awful and people are like having a bad time. And I'm like, that's not been my experience. And that's all I can speak to. I was like, that's not been my experience. I can read all those articles in the New York Times or, CNN or whatever, and they all pick one headline or show one clip of like something happening in China and then saying, oh, this is how China is.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's not
those
true.
Are out of context too.
Of course, yeah.
There was some regular military exercise in Shandong once, and then they put it somewhere else and said it was about something else.
Well, I mean, there was a rumor just
people
recently.
Would believe that instantly.
They immediately think, oh my gosh, what's going on in China?
I mean, there was a rumor recently. I'm sure you heard.
Yeah, I heard that rumor.
I'm like walking outside. I'm like, I don't think this is happening.
That's exactly what I did. I immediately took a video, like, where I am in like downtown Beijing, and I'm like, nope, that's not true. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean, I live next to Jinsheng Park, and so I'm like less than 2 minutes away from the Forbidden City. So I mean, and that's close to Zhongnanhai, where the actual government is seated. I'm like, this isn't happening. Like
business as usual, my friends.
There's tourists on the streets because it's the national holiday.